Now, last year when you're watching your tokens and your equity go down and then down and down, and I remember last year, and yet you've got a payroll of 100 people and you got to give seed capital of 100,000, 200,000 to these startups. Like, where does that cash come from if you're still invested? Or do you find a creative way to take a small percentage and divert it? How do you do that?
Yeah,
I'm giving you flashbacks here.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, we've this is the reality that we've lived in going back to when it was me in my underpants, in my flat, right. One person, we
14 basically.
Yeah, we've never had loads of like cash, So rewinding back to the kind of the origins of Outlier, that would have been 14, something like that. I used to host little meetups here. I think it was called Blockchain Angels or something. 10 people would show up. The weirdest group of people you've ever met in your life. Nobody was really investing. And I was just trying to figure out, somehow they'd come across blockchain, they had a light bulb moment, and they wanted to learn. And this is, in London, which is a pretty big capital centre, big venture capital centre, market centre. Actually had a lot of recovering bankers kind of coming along, retired, bored, looking to be stimulated. And so I kind of did these really to learn myself. And we'd somehow find one or two startups that would come and present, and they'd be wanting to raise money. But nobody really knew what we were doing, what was going on. This is pre-Ethereum, what was coming along then, Digital Chamber of Commerce, which kind of brought all the banks and everything else. And so, I knew I was angel investing at the time. I knew I wanted to invest. I knew I couldn't invest alone. I was already, I'm a creative technologist, so I'm used to working with technologists, often trying to help them translate and apply things in a commercial sense. But, actually understanding back then, because it was all about infrastructure, cryptography and everything else, or the possibility of smart contracts, when there's colored coins then, could you have something that might then become NFTs at a later date? So there was a lot to learn. And, I had a little bit of cash myself, not a huge amount. And I kind of found, I think I'd put a message on LinkedIn at the time saying I was looking for a technical founder or a CTO who understand blockchain. And I just got no response. So then I started searching anybody that had blockchain in the title. I found my now business partner, Aaron Van Ammers. I think he was one of 20 people that had blockchain and CTO in his profile on LinkedIn, and that you could speak to that actually made sense, that had some experience of deploying meaningful products at scale. And so, away we went. But I had a very small amount of capital to figure it out. I was like, look, I put him on a retainer for a year. I said, I don't know what we're doing, but let's just play around with the tech and usually break it. Ethereum came along, and very quickly you see the potential for smart contracts, but also the limitations. There was no way anyone was going to be building a dApp at a consumer level anytime soon. So I then did a blog post called 99% of blockchain startups are bullshit, which at the time kind of did the rounds. And it was a bit clickbaity, but the premise was, look, all these people are coming to us pitching that they have a blockchain startup, and there's no blockchain there at all. It's conceptually it's a blockchain startup. In actuality, it's just a Web 2 built thing. So we were kind of just bumbling along really, and then every so often somebody would come along and say, hey, can I give you 20 grand, 25 grand to help me invest in the space? So we created a partnership, UK LLP partnership, like an LLC in the US, I guess. And we grew that partnership literally one by one. An angel would come along somehow, and they'd had their moment. They'd put a little money in, and we'd take that money and we'd deploy it. But it was never material amounts of money that we were investing. It was just enough to be able to start the conversation. So we had to become a value investor. Everyone talks about being not in a market sense, in a VC sense. Well, I'm a value-based VC, i.e. I'll bring some value other than the capital. In reality, most don't, or they do it in a very limited way. But we really did, because we didn't have much money to give people, so we really had to overcompensate in the value that we could bring. And so we started growing people rather than a capital pool. We started doing a lot of thought leadership that would attract founders to us. And we'd get on the cap table through advisory primarily.
Right.
And then, we were lucky to have had some good investments that yielded really well for us, where we were able to almost finance a whole year of operations from two investments over several years without needing, material external money. So it was only last year where we took, for the first time, like institutional money, kind of a sovereign grade level, to kind of grow the business. But even then, relative to all the numbers that you see flown around in crypto, it's still relatively modest. So because we've never really had much money, we've always had to be really disciplined with it. And because it's our money, like, we really care about that investment. Yeah. We care about doing the DD. We care about its long-term success. Often our stakes vest alongside the founders. So even if we wanted to, we couldn't rug pull. Like, we're locked in it with the founder. We're effectively, in a cap table sense, like a co-founder. I would never say we're a co-founder, because we're not doing the grind. And as a founder, I know the difference. But so that's kind of been at the core of our DNA. Over the years, we've especially in the bull markets, okay, should we go and raise a huge fund? But we've resisted it, because it comes with compromises, and you're only going to get 25% on that anyway, right. And you're at the mercy of the LPs. I think now is maybe the time where that might make sense. It's mature, the space is mature enough. But in previous years, we would have been murdered, in the downturns, 18, 19 winter, proper crypto winter, the more recent one last year. So we've had a lot of latitude. Our business model was forged in having to provide value in an advisory sense. And yeah, there's been some very squeaky bum moments in that, existential moments, but we've always ridden it through, and fingers crossed. I would say we're kind of as an organization, like, much more mature now about how we manage capital and do treasury and all that kind of stuff.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast. It's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true. And you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. I'm looking for partners, collaborators, colleagues who want to join forces with me around the globe and create real value, generational wealth, and financial freedom for everyone else around the world. Get involved in the cryptocurrency markets, get involved in the NFT markets. This is your moment. Life all comes down to a few moments. Don't let this pass. Now it's not too late. Next year is going to be too late. Ultimately, this is about freedom. That's the way I see it. This is about giving power back to the people and enabling billions of people worldwide to use the financial markets to improve their lives and those of their friends and their families and their communities. Honestly, I think it's a violation of human rights not to allow people basic access to financial services.
Because right now people are being kept in the dark, they're being robbed of education, and it's a travesty. And so I'm looking for people that want to join me and be a part of this solution. And that all happens inside the DeFi Academy. The gains my students are making are absolutely amazing. Double, triple digit gains in the first month alone. That's amazing. This will change your life. Now is the time to get involved. I'm going to tell you exactly how my students in my academy made money in the last 30 days. I'm talking about real trading results. And let me just whet your appetite a little bit. Let me hit you with some numbers. I'm talking Brendan from New Zealand is up 68.77% on the month. Steve from Europe up 83%. Albert in Singapore up 169.9% on one single trade. I got Susan up 153% on her call options alone, also rocking 139% returns and 442% returns as well on individual trades. These are people that are changing their financial future in the last 30 days, but it's based on trading discipline.
I've graduated over 500 students from inside my academy from over 54 countries around the world. It's amazing. When it comes to crypto, DeFi, and blockchain, we love this space. We truly believe it's the future. This is down to our core. It's authentic to what we're doing, and everybody can tell through the camera because you can't make this stuff up. If you're watching me now, wherever you are, I implore you, take 60 seconds right now and join my academy. Apply today. Now you've got a chance. Life all comes down to a few moments. What are you going to do? What's the choice that you're going to make?